Hey folks, TJ here, and I'm back with another 5s and 10s video. Now today, let's talk television, okay? So, there's so many good shows on television, but let me ask you guys something. When you were a kid, or whatever decade you grew up in, whether it was the 80s, the 90s, or even now, there was always a show that you fell in love with, and over time it grew on you, and you would essentially became like a big fan of that show. You know, where you grew, where it was, cartoons or comedies or even dramas or show. You know the whole thing. I'm covering the whole spectrum here. Okay, kind of know where I'm going with this. So pretty much, I'm gonna answer this question is pretty much what's your favorite show and why? Well, let's see. I'll tell you what my favorite show is, and that is Home Improvement. Okay, yes, with Tim Allen. Okay, why not? He is the funniest guy on television. Okay, why not? Come on, he was Tim the Toolman Taylor. The man's man. More power. I can do this all day. So, so I'm going to put this right now. Yeah, I love Home Improvement. There's so many art shows out there today. So many comedies, so many cartoons, so many art good stuff. Gotham's a good show. Frickin' True Blood, Game of Thrones. There's like so many good television shows now these days. But I want to focus on, I want to talk about comedies or sitcoms. Okay, so I'm gonna get down to the nitty-gritty and just tell you my top 10 favorite Home Improvement episodes. Okay, so I definitely know there's some fans out there that love Tim Allen. Tim Allen, he has a new show, Last Man Standing. Good show and all. I love it. But let's see. Let's look at the show that essentially just made him what he is. Okay. These are my favorite episodes. Okay. Let me know what yours are. Okay. But anyway, let's just dive in. Okay. Coming at number 10 is from season 1. It's an episode called Wild Kingdom. Okay. In this episode, if you don't remember this, involves pretty much Tim Allen, conquering his fear. Okay, it's all about conquering the fear. So that was the theme today. It was like, for that episode, if I remember, his kids were essentially trying to conquer their fear and of death and all that. But then you find out that, oh my God, there's a snake in their house, and like it gets funny in a heartbeat. It's like during a party, he sees a snake, and he's like, "I'm not gonna get that." So he gets rid of the snake, and he says, "What if I open my shirt?" And all of a sudden, the snake just crawls to his shirt. It's like it's coming gold right there. Especially when it comes to eliminating a pest like a snake. It was funny as all hell. It was like so many Marvel moments throughout that show, actually. But definitely Wild Kingdom makes the list because of that. Coming at number 9 is from season 2. It's called Bye Bye Birdie, or as I call it, the Woodpecker episode. This was one of the first episodes I ever saw growing up. Actually, it was so funny because pretty much the episode starts off with Tim and Jill. They're trying to get some sleep, and all of a sudden a woodpecker's interrupting their sleep. So he tries to get rid of it, and he goes to get a broom, and ends up breaking the window. It was hysterical. But essentially, as the show goes on, he's like so obsessed with getting rid of this woodpecker. It's funny, where he's trying to use a super soaker or a fake owl, but they tries to lure away with like freaking heat-seeking helicopter, and that was the icing on the cake for me on this episode, which was that the thing malfunctions and starts chasing him. It was hysterical. It's like, oh my God, Tim Allen was really funny on that show, and definitely, and of course, obviously Wilson. Howdy ho, neighbor. Oh, no, wait, hold on. Howdy ho, neighbor. Sorry, I couldn't resist. I had to do that. But definitely, that was another thing I liked about the show, was that, like, always Wilson, in any episode, like, always likes to lend some good wisdom to Tim and his family. And what can I say? He's a good neighbor. If he was around, I'd totally have him. But I'm getting a little off topic. But anyway, getting back to number 8 on my list. Speaking of Wilson, is the episode Bewitched from season 8, the final season. Actually, it involves Wilson. Actually, it's pretty much if you remember on the show, like Tim around Halloween likes to become known as the prank king. Like he tries to scare gross people out with his pranks, and so. In this last season, he tries to prove that he truly is the king. So Wilson sets up the biggest prank ever. So after setting up a party, Wilson disappears, and he starts to try to turn this prank into almost a crime scene into a crime scene. Trying to make Tim feel like, oh my god, I killed Wilson kind of thing. So it was kind of funny. Like, like there's a couple of good lines throughout the episode, and like you could just watch how like Tim just he's always on. It's his comedic timing that makes it perfect. Like there's a scene where he's getting interrogated by the police, and like perfect time, you would go okay, listen, McGarrett, damn, he's like constantly making like TV references and like all that. It's just funny, all right, cool, bro. Let me tell you something and all that. Oh my god, God, it was just Wilson was up to something when he did that prank actually. So it was just great. Coming in at number 7 is Don't Tell Mama from season 4. Okay, this episode essentially, Tim, talks about, it's probably one of the most iconic episodes. Like he goes out on the job trying to work a crane, all that, and he ends up dropping a beam on his wife's car, and he ends up crushing it. That's what makes it iconic. Is like pretty much essentially is Tim the Toolman Taylor enjoys as a klutz. Like he can just destroy anything, like, or set things on fire, or even crush his wife's car. Yes, that was his wife's car they crushed on that episode. So yeah, that was funny in itself. And when Jill sees the car, she's like, "What kind of idiot does this?" And does I'm the idiot. And he's like, "Oh, Tim." And all that. It's like Jill's like the perfect filter for Tim, especially on an episode that involves like a car, especially, let alone doing your wife's car. So that's something, men, you should never do. Never drop a beam on your wife's car. So bottom line, even though that's not the moral of the story, but still, it's kind of funny. Coming at number 6 is Chop Shop Till You Drop, going back to season 8. Okay, all right. This one is kind of a serious one, but also has a lighthearted tone. Okay. Chop Shop Till You Drop. What happens on this episode is his son Brad, his oldest son Brad, gets his license, and he finally decides he wants a car. So he gets a car, and somehow he ends up losing the car. So and then eventually leads to Tim going undercover to try to find like who did find all this, and eventually leads him to a chop shop, and like that's where it gets even funnier. And like but what makes it funny for this episode was Tim had a great line. He says before going undercover is that I'm the toolman, I can fix anything. If I can do this and all that come on, all that, and he goes into this whole spiel. It's so funny. And like his wife at the end of that funny scene goes, you know what, zip, all right, if you're gonna do that, zip your fly up, tool man, or something like that. Kind of funny, but definitely him going incognito is even funnier. It's like he's got this thick ass mustache. That mustache and the cap, looks ridiculous. It's so funny. I totally watch it, and it's one of my favorite episodes. So yeah, it's from season 8. If you can find that, very good episode. Coming at number 5 is You'll Better Watch Out from season 1. It's essentially the first ever Christmas episode, actually. So, yes. I had thrown out at least one Christmas episode on this list. Okay, there's so many good Christmas episodes, but this one I really like. This one kind of was like, it was the first season, no less. And of course, the introduction of Tim and the weighing contest, but this one also tackled another serious issue of the belief of Santa Claus. So hide your kids if you're kids around this. So yeah. So eventually his son Mark, is trying to fight with the belief of is Santa Claus still real? And then there's like a prequel moment where Santa comes in, but everyone thinks it's Wilson. But then all of a sudden at the end they're like Wilson was pretty good, and Jill goes like, "You mean that Wilson?" And Wilson's just staying at the fence all the time, and they're like, "Huh?" It was kind of like one of those funny, lighthearted, and pretty much a cool holiday episode for the whole season. Actually, there were some other good Christmas episodes, but I really like this one. Coming in at number 4 is from season 2. It's called Bell Bottom Blues. This one is essentially a pretty funny one because like Tim has has a couple of funny lines in this episode. Pretty much what happens on this episode. They're trying to remodel his bedroom. Okay, pretty much he's pretty much essentially telling Jill you're a pack rat, and like he wants to expand the freaking closet. That way he can have more room. That way they can organize their clothes and all that. So, and it gets funny because he tells him he tells Jill, and get rid of the stuff that you don't want, and he finds this. I forget what it was. He finds this simple piece of clothing. He goes, "What about this, Joe? You gotta get rid of this." And she's like, "That's for my fat collection. You can fit Europe in this thing." That was the funniest line ever. But this also tackles another issue of let's see, his son also gets in trouble. There's another thing on the episode, but definitely it's him working on the closet is what really makes it fun. That's what I like about the episode. Number 3 is from season 3. It's an episode called Too Many Cooks. Okay, this one pretty much Tim and Al guest host a cooking show while the cooking show host is away, and like Tim is like it essentially just reaches a level of now he does of stupidity but hilarity too. It's like he does things like what you should not do when cooking, and like now it's trying to help him all that. It's pretty funny, but the real icing on the cake for the episode was the ending. They're doing something with the cooked duck, and like Al trying to be the Tim Taylor of the episode somehow throws the duck and the duck goes through this window, and Tim says hold on a sec, Al just did something, or I forget what the line was, how the line was, because he says, "You guys heard of pheasant under glass before?" What Al just demonstrated was Quacker through the glass. It was really funny, and it was like a pretty cool level. It's pretty much like a reversal of the roles, like how Tim is always the star and Al was the assistant, but then they swapped the roles, kind of thing. But they kind of did that in a previous episode too, but this one, in my opinion, was the much better one, because like they really meshed together. It was really funny, and especially when they were trying to appeal to a different crowd, because they were guest hosts a cooking show. Because hey, and it gets funny real quick. Number 2 coming in is also from season 3. It's called Real Men. This one I've watched so many times. This episode, it sees Tim and Al. They go ice fishing. And it gets funny quick because Tim ends up falling in the ice. It gets funny. And like, like the comedy goes just right up there. Like Tim goes like, "Want to get personal? I'm wearing your underwear." And he's like, "I hope I didn't, but I think I did." It's so funny. And like, but there was also like a serious tone to that episode as well. But truly, that was a good episode. I always watch every time. And now my number 1 favorite one is from season 5. It's called The Look. This one is pretty much how can I say this? So Tim buys piss tickets without his wife's approval, because he always likes to talk to his wife. It's one of those. It's also like what. It's also, to me, it's like what not to do during a marriage. It's like don't make any rash decisions without consulting your wife or your husband, kind of thing. So to me, this kind of like, okay, not only is it funny, but something that I should take for a future thing. So I take so I can be a better guy. You know what I mean? But so that's a personal thing. I don't want to get too personal. But the look is pretty much like the look that his wife gives him. And like there's a scene that I crack up so many times where they're at the hardware store, and Hardware Harry, and Harry's wife Dolores comes in, and he says no, I'm not gonna do it. And Tim goes, "Uh-oh, here it comes, guys, look away." And they just look away, and like Dolores gives Harry the look, and like Al and Betty are just staying there like jaws open, like, oh my God, they're like petrified. But because the look is the most lethal weapon in the woman's arsenal, and that's the thing you don't want to get. So there you go. So those are my episodes. So funny, always have a serious undertone, but definitely Home Improvement, one of my favorite shows ever. So those are my favorite episodes. Okay, let me know what yours are, or what your favorite show is. So that's that. So that does it for today. Keep it tuned here for some more awesome videos. Take care, folks.